So today we're going to learn about the tariffs and the Great Depression due to there's a lot of people who is throwing around misinformation about how the Great Depression was started. So here's a video last night that I was doing live discussing about the tariffs, and someone still went in and made this comment afterwards. It's a big thing on X, and I'm sure you're seeing it on other platforms to where people are saying this type of nonsense. So the biggest cause of the Great Depression started due to a thing known as Black Tuesday. That is where the stock market crashed, and these are newspaper articles that you can go and read up on if you would like. Let me tell you a little bit more about Black Tuesday. See, it refers to October 29th, 1929. That is the day the U.S. stock market crashed, and marking the beginning of the Great Depression. On this day, panic selling led to a massive drop-off in stock prices. When the Dow Jones industry average was losing around 12% every single day. See, that crash wiped out billions of dollars in wealth, leading to economic collapse, widespread unemployment, and financial hardship throughout the 1930s. It was preceded by another important date, which is known as Black Thursday. See, on that date, and then you had also Black Monday, which October 28th, 1929, when stocks also plummeted, but Black Tuesday is considered the most significant day of the crash. So that's the number one thing right there. Here's the second thing that caused the Great Depression. It was bank failures. See, the bank failures, there were thousands of banks that failed between 1929 and 1933. And this caused people to lose their savings. Losing their savings. So, with no FDIC insurance at that time, this loss of confidence led to bank runs and a collapse in credit. So that's the second thing that led to the Great Depression. We're not even into the tariffs part, and I'll be getting there. It's just many steps later. Here's the third thing that caused the Great Depression, and this one's going to be a little bit shocking to y'all, because it was caused by the overproductions of goods. Yes, that's right, my friends. See, right before the Great Depression, shelves were insanely stocked. Farms and factories produced way more than people could buy. And that led to falling prices, as well as unsold goods. And then that kicked off massive layoffs. That led to the number 4 reason, where it was a decline in consumer spending, because due to the falling wages and the job losses, people had less money to spend, with further reducing demand and worsening the economic downturn. Now we're on to the number 5 reason. Now let me tell you, back in the 1920s, people were getting loans like crazy, and they were heavily spending it, borrowing it, and that, when the economy slowed down, that led to where people just couldn't repay it, which meant that there was bankruptcies. So that's your number 5 reason. You're still not even into the tariffs part. So now let me tell you about a thing called the Dust Bowl. And this is our number 6 thing that drove the Great Depression further into poverty. See, there was a severe drought that took place in the 1930s, and it destroyed crops. And so you didn't have this food anymore that was happening. And that really messed up some things. But that was during the Great Depression. So that's our number 6 reason. So now let's talk about the tariffs. Okay, now you can't compare the tariffs back then to the tariffs now. See, that's comparing like an apples to not even oranges, more like square scenario, because the tariffs were done back then to try to help out the Great Depression with canceling out 20,000 goods is what it did. Another thing took place as well, and that was where global trading was a problem. And see, there was this thing that was going on, the world wars, and no one was wanting to really trade. It was on the downfall extremely bad. And so what you just witnessed yesterday, February 2nd, you had India reach out to America and said that they wanted to do some trading because of the tariffs. You've also just found out something here today, February 3rd, where we just found out that Mexico just did what President Trump wanted, and they sent 10,000 troops to the line. What did Trump do? He froze the tariffs on Mexico. Now, there's still tariffs on other places, but the tariffs then and the tariffs now is a totally different scenario. Now let's talk about the Federal Reserve and why it's so important of these little quarters and percent changes. Okay, see, back then, instead of increasing the money supply to boost the economy, they decided it was best to actually reduce it. And that, my friends, led to where it led to deflation, which made debts harder to be repaid. And it discouraged people to invest. So yeah, bad move there. The 10th thing that went along with the Great Depression to making it become worse was that people didn't have a safety net, especially the people on the small percentage of Americans. And that is where it's very important to have a safety net. So there you have it. These are all the things that caused the Great Depression. I hope you've learned something out of this, and I hope that you share it with others to educating them when they sit here and throw out this stuff because they just have a hate for President Trump and they just make up some stuff and they don't understand it. So there's your history lesson. You can go and dive more into this stuff if you would like. Take care. God bless.